down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the savvy landlord as your host.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. And it's always a good day because when you call your friends, you know, I'm working on a podcast right now. Who is a friend? Like, what does a friend do and what's your expectations? I really had a good friend of mine call me out and say, Steven, is that really your friend? And I really had to pause and stop and think about what's a friend. A friend is someone that you can call and like we've never skipped a beat. It could be 6 months, 6 years. And I think that's what a friend is. And I have that guy on the phone right now or on the radio show, whatever you want to call, Mr. Lee Smith from Indiana, Houses Buying Spouses.
Spouses Buying Houses.
Spousesbuyinghouses.com. Spousesbuyinghouses.com. Steal all his marketing because it's amazing. No, and I don't remember how we got on phone last week, but we started dropping knowledge on each other, and I was like, whoa, what a great friend we started talking about, is the market going to crash? What's happening? And it led into 20 other conversations, and hopefully we can stay focused here today. But if not, we're going to just try to outline a ton of content for you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, so you can grow your business. But one of the main questions that popped out of my mind that I just couldn't believe. Now, let me give you some history on Lee. He is a broker, a licensed realtor.
But don't hold it against me.
Yeah, don't shoot him, because I know when he told me he loves technology, worked at Microsoft, is passionate about progressive growth and education, and that's kind of what our kinship is and our love, is that he's always trying to grow, going to seminars, and that's where I met him, at the Ohio RIA. You need to go there, coming up in October 30th, but it's not a plug for that. He's mentioned on the phone the other day about that he's in the middle of 13 rehabs. And I'm like, what the? And my first inclination was, dude, where are you getting these deals? So I'm like, we're doing a podcast next week. Here's my 30 questions. And then he corrects me, I'm not getting deals. So what do you mean by that? You're in the middle of 13 rehabs and you're not getting deals? Or like, what's going on? What's running through your mind? Where'd you get these? What's the climate? What's happening in Indiana?
So it is an extremely weird market right now. So we've got, it's hard to find deals. People are spending way too much money for rentals. Our low income stuff. We're getting left coast investors. We're getting, foreign investors who are showing up in Indianapolis. And I think it's every market from everybody I've been talking to. And they're paying way too much for houses. There's a new website out there, roofstock.com. You basically, if you got a rental, you want to sell it, you can go to Roofstock and you can say, hey, I got this rental I want to sell. They will come out and do an inspection on your house. They may or may not have some stuff that they want you to fix. And then they'll put it listed on their website. Their website's basically designed for investors. And they basically run the numbers and they'll say this is a 6% cap rate or an 8% cap rate or a 10% cap rate. And then they will market and sell it for you. I don't know what their fees are or anything like this, but we saw a tremendous amount of people who were listing properties on that website. And we're seeing these people they're like, oh, I can make a 6% return. That's just credible. That's great. That's what I want. But they're buying in low-income neighborhoods. So let me tell you about these deals that they're doing. They're buying a house. I would want to be all into this house for $40,000, $45,000, right?
Right.
I could fix up the house and sell it to an owner-occupant for $65,000, right? This is a person that goes out and gets a bank loan, and they go and finance it, and then they buy it from me for $65,000. It's all fixed up or whatever, right? So, but those people take 3 to 6 months. When you go to list that property, it takes 3 to 6 months to sell it. So there's 3 to 6 months where your property is just sitting there vacant and you're waiting for the next buyer or whatever. And that's when you get the $65,000 price. So these people are coming in and they're seeing, oh, I can get a 6% cap rate or an 8% cap rate, and they're paying $85,000 cash for these properties. Or they're getting loans from banks and, they're putting whatever, 25% down, and the banks are loaning them, whatever, 80,000, whatever that is, what's $60,000 on that house, over $60,000 on the house. And that's what the house is worth, right? If I waited 3 to 6 months for it. But in their eyes, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to get a 6% return or an 8% return. This is awesome. This is better than the stock market, whatever. Warren Buffett says that everybody needs to buy, Warren Buffett made all this money in real estate, so I'm going to buy real estate and I'm going to be making $1 million.
We'll pause right there. I heard the other day that, he's sitting on $150 billion and he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
That was a rumor I heard the other day. I mean, so he's not the ultimate authority, but he tends to just, he touches cloak and we're buying houses. Do you see that shift still sustaining? Obviously through this website, is that just all like, is that going to end soon, or is that going to go get stronger? That's the perspective I want you. What do you see?
So between like roofstock.com selling houses for way over value. I mean, all they need is one bad turn. We're seeing a lot of property managers who are, they overcharge when they sell a house to an investor. They overcharge in the rehab. They put a crap tenant in, a tenant who's, if you can fog a mirror, you can rent to these people. And then it's a vicious cycle. I mean, we've had numerous investors come to us with, I've got one property, it's low income. I've had 3 tenants in the past year. We've evicted 2 people. We're on our 3rd one, and we're getting ready to evict that 3rd one. So, one bad turn is $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, right? So these guys are coming in and their whole strategy is I want to buy it, rehab it, rent it out and refinance it, right? And they're putting, let's say they put 20 grand into the house, but then all of a sudden they got a $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 bill that they got to pay. They got to come up with that cash for that. So we're seeing the roof stock people that are buying 100% finances is back. No doc loans are back.
Yes.
There is just a lot of crazy volatility in the market that just doesn't make sense. So, there's a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me, and they're predicting a market correction,
Yes. No, it's already happening. Did you see the T-bill just changed where it flip-flopped? That hasn't done that in so long. Like Google up the T-bill, the Treasury bill, where it was like 3% return, and then and that last time it did that, it went into a recession. Just FYI.
Yeah. No, I mean, and a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me are actually, predicting a recession. So, I mean, I don't know what to think. I've sold quite a few of my rentals during this market. So, I mean, I'm looking to buy properties, but I can't find the deals. I mean, I still find deals, but not as much as I was. And the wholesalers are selling just crazy money.
Retail. They're not wholesalers. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
And then it needs $20,000 worth of work, and they're still selling it for resale or retail.
And people are buying it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just blowing my mind. So, I expect that we're going to see something next year. We're going to see some serious stuff. I mean, there's already a lot of signs in the market. I'm seeing a lot, I am a realtor, don't hold it against me. And I'm seeing, a lot more emails from other realtors who are like, hey, our house meets one of your clients' search criteria. So, we just had a price reduction. Please send them over. Cause like my sister, she's in a high dollar neighborhood. She likes to see what's going up for sale and so on and so forth in her neighborhood, and I got a couple other friends that like to watch what's going on in their neighborhoods as well. So that's what these searches are set up for. So it's funny because I'm getting a lot more emails from realtors saying, hey, our house has been on the market. We just dropped the price. We're looking to, sell, and your guy meets our, your search criteria meets our house. So please send them over. I don't know what to think. I'm geared up and I'm ready for, something, a market correction or whatever. Get some of these people out of the market. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should be ready. And I think private money is the way to go because banks are going to kind of slow down a little bit, maybe because there's going to be some sort of a sanction go down or some sort of compliance or regulatory. I don't know what's going to happen. Donald Trump's out or in, and then something's going to kick right there that's going to set that domino in effect. But let's get back to the original question. 13 rehabs. So are those yours? There are other people?
Most of them are other people's. A couple of them are mine. We had a fire last November. I haven't even messed with that house yet. But most of it is like I say, it's a vicious cycle. Investors are coming into our market and they're getting a crappy property manager. They're paying way too much for houses. They're paying way too much in rehab. They're putting a crap tenant in. The crap tenant is, has to be evicted, and it's a vicious cycle. They're back to paying way too much to get it rehabbed, to send it back on the market. So I've got a ton of investors who are coming to us, and we've been adding 15 to 30 a month properties being added to our management roles, and a majority of them need a lot of rehab. They're vacant, they're in the middle of an eviction. So then when we get them, I'm 8 to 10 weeks out from even being able to start a property, for a rehab. It's just way too much. There's a lot. It's hard to find contractors right now. But we've got like 11 or 12 rehabs we're working on, here and there, because I've switched my model. I'm no longer one guy does the whole rehab. I got a painter, I got a drywall guy, I got a floor guy, I got a AC guy. So we can push people into multiple positions as needed. I got a tree guy. So, it's, we're working on, we got 11 or 12 of them going right now. And it's just, it's nonstop. I had an Israeli investor. No, she was Israeli. Israeli investor hit me up a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, I got 73 properties I want to bring your way. And I'm like, she's like, and 10 of them need full rehabs. And I'm like, I'm 8 to 10 weeks out from being able to take on any kind of, even start a rehab. It's
how
just
are
crazy.
you? So give us some tips. Like, are you overwhelmed? How are you handling these people? Where's your failing? Like, what have you done right? What have you done wrong? Like, that's all great and gravy, Lise. Like, oh, you're like big baller in Indiana. I got 13 rehabs. I got 70. Yeah, everybody's on your Nicky Knacks.
I know, right?
Let's get some tangible, like, where have you died on the cross, and how can we resurrect? Because, like, I know someone's having struggles in these areas.
So, that is a big struggle for me because, I was used to, 2 or 3 rehabs. It's pretty easy to keep track of them. And so I've been redesigning my systems. I'm a big systems guy. And I've been redesigning my systems, trying to come up with solutions for plotting this all out. How do I logistically, okay, my HVAC guy's over here. Where does he go next? Where does he go after that? Where does he go after that? It's a huge project right now. I was doing a tremendous amount of marketing, and I'm trying to hire people left and right. I actually, this is something you and I were talking about. I had one person who was doing my break fix stuff, which is, if something breaks at a house, a tenant's in there and toilet breaks, they call us, blah, blah, blah. Then I had one person who was handling break fix. Toilet's broken. She would assign a contractor. She would follow up to make sure that the contractor got the work done, blah, blah, blah. That one person was also doing application processing. So on average, we process probably 2 or 3 applications a day. And it's a time sink. It's a couple of hours per application, an hour to 2 hours per application. So I had one person who was doing both tasks, and clearly it was just overwhelming for them. So I ended up going through a couple of different people. So finally I just made the decision, okay, I'm just going to break it up. I'm going to hire 2 people, one person for break fix, one person for application processing, and then one of them's going to be a slacker, and I'm going to fire it. And then I'm going to push everything over to hopefully I'll get 1 rock star out of the 2 people. Well, I ended up getting 2 rock stars.
Nice.
So now I'm like, okay, so now I'm trying to ramp up more stuff for, both of them to do, because, originally I promised them that, they'd be like 20 hours a week. And the one girl, she's doing like 10 hours a week, and she is a lot more organized and on it than anybody else I've had in the past. So I feel bad when I cut her a check every 2 weeks and it's like $150. She's just been on it.
That's awesome.
It's great for her though. She's almost all my people are virtual. So actually all of us are virtual. We all work out of our own home. We all make our own hours. And so she's a brand new mom. She's got 2 other kids. And so she's this is her first year. She's going to be a stay-at-home mom, but she's doing this, and she loves it. She likes it a lot. So we're ramping it up for her so she can make 20 or 30 hours a week, which is what she wanted, but she can do it anytime she wants. But we're trying to redesign our systems where we're, I'm trying to create a logistical plan to where I can see at any moment what contractor is working on what. And originally we were looking at a product called Noify.
How about Trello?
Yeah, that was what you and I started talking about.
Me?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I started trying to do it in Trello, but you really can't. Trello doesn't seem to have the logistical planning, and there's some weaknesses in Trello.
Yeah.
And so I'm still, it's a work in progress. When I was a kid, we owned a Ryder truck place. The big yellow truck, kind of like U-Hauls.
Yeah.
And so my parents had created a grid board where they put a truck, they had whatever listings of trucks, 10 tall. And then they would basically, out to the right, they had all 7 days of the week. And they would basically say, truck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going out Monday and Tuesday. Then it's open Wednesday. And then it's going out again Thursday and Friday. And so it became a logistical planning thing. There's nothing really out there that I've seen so far that allows me to do that sort of stuff. So I may go back to whiteboard, for planning out my guys, so I could put my electrician here and my, and that line down, I could put my plumber and I could put down my, drywall guy, and then just kind of logistically plan out what days they're going to be at what houses.
Here, let me give you some tools that have you ever thought of using Simple Crew to organize them, to dispatch them? And then there's a thing called House. Let me find it for you. But there's a thing that I hired an amazing new plumber, and he's killing it right now. And he uses this software called House Call On Call.
Wow, Simple Crew is $300 a month, dude.
Now?
Oh wait, no, that's the business line. Okay, everybody else does it $49, $129, $299, but Simple Crew starts off telling you $299. $49 a month for 5 team members. All right, what else you got? What was the other one you were talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now. This plumber that I use, it's really awesome. He sends me, it's an automatic system that jumps off of his GPS, that he has an iPad in his truck, or you could use your phone.
Right.
He puts in my work order. It automatically texts me that it's scheduled. Then it texts me where it's going. He goes to the job. It creates an invoice, and it texts me to pay him, and I can pay him all online, and I never talk to him. So he's like, it texts me, hey, I'm on my way to your job site. The next thing it says, I'm done with the job, and I need to, of course, I can't find it right now. So I'd have to just talk about something else, and I'll find it. But here it is. Hold on, I found it. It's called Pro House Call. Try housecallpro.com.
Housecallpro.com.
Okay. And yeah, so I would look into this. And what this is now, this is written for contractors. Okay. To let staff know, but why can't you use this to help you organize? And everything's tracked. Everything jumps off their GPS, and it invoices, and it kind of catalogs what they're doing. So it automatically texts me, like the guy texts me today, says, hey, Steven, thanks for trusting Blank Plumbing. We'd love for your feedback. Click this button. So I can, right then, I can review him. And then, hey, Steven, Blank Plumber is scheduled to arrive Sunday the 18th between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. See job description. When I click the job description, this is a text message that texts me. It tells me it's scheduled for Monday from 10 a.m. to noon, 40-gallon natural gas water heater replacement. He's overcharged me because it says $800 on here. Like, what the hell? And then it shows the address, and then it shows the map. And then that goes to my staff, and we pay him from there. He's a certified plumber. He's licensed. And so we can track everything. Now we have all this documentation. And that was today. That was yesterday. And so then it texts me, hey, pay this bill. And
Nice.
So then before then it's like, hey, Stephen, thanks for trusting blank. We'd love for your feedback. Hey, Stephen, we're scheduled to arrive. And then here's another one. It says, hey, the work plumber has finished. And it sends me a text message at this address, 1005 South, extended drain line for capacity washer, 225. So he just charged me 220. Sometimes he arrived, it says August 15th, between 3 and 4. So I love this. Now I'm paying this plumber more than I normally pay a plumber.
Right.
But I don't have to think about this guy. He's licensed. I trust him. And he's constantly in contact with me. So I know he's doing his job. That's the problem that I have. Like right now, I have so many things going on. I have an acquisition going on. I have some funding going on. I have my taxes going on. And then I'm like, oh, snap, I need to do an inspection. Boom, I get a text message. Don't forget to go to the inspection because I have to write it down. But then I use Trello too. So
right.
I think if you kind of use this as you are the contractor, general contractor, like as we're homies and we're friends, I would, if it was me and I was in your position, 13 houses or 12 houses, and I'm running all over the place and I'm going to take on that other lady, we don't run from money.
Right.
On that chick that has 10 more, this may help you, or you force your guys to use this. Now you have it in writing. Now it's all through text messages. Now, another thing that I do, I love that I'm helping you. Like, what's going on here? I called you to help us. But another thing that I do right now, I use Textra, Textra, Textra. It's an Android app. Sorry, it may be on your little iPhone because I know you sold out because you had a Pixel because I loved you because you're the first one to get a Pixel. Then you were pissed off because it didn't work right because it had exploded. Then you went back to 05. But then anyway.
I'm back to Android, baby.
You are all right. Can't wait to see you in October. Anyway, I love this app. Okay, and so what this does, it's my main tech software. And so I'm negotiating with the roofer. And I'm like, yeah, it's 26 squares. When are you going to get it done? How much it's going to cost? And I'm back and forth with this guy, right? Oh, don't forget to put a tarp on there. So what I do is with Textra, I highlight what I want, and then it says email this, and I email it to my general manager, and then she takes over from there. She knows exactly the conversation that I had with him. So there's no different. And it also works for court too. So it's like taking it a little bit late. So like right now, like we text earlier. So when I hang up the phone, I'm gonna send you a Textra and it catalogs the time of the call, when the text message was sent, when you received it, and it has an audit trail. Yeah, how you like me now?
Is that similar to Voxer?
No, it's just on my phone. It's just my regular text messaging. So I don't use the Google text message or the Verizon text message app on my phone. So I disconnected those apps and I use Textra. That's my default app. So every day I use it, texting my wife, texting whoever, all my homies. But when I'm in a negotiations, I highlight those messages and I dump them into my journal. I dump them into the cloud. I dump them into Google Drive. I dump them to my general manager. I dump them to my contractor. I dump them to my property manager. So for example, like this guy, I'm texting this new realtor. I like this realtor where everything's going well. And he's like, I need you to do this, 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 this. So I'm going to assign those tasks to my property manager. I highlight it. I send it to my property manager. She gets an email. She knows exactly what I said to the guy. And so there's no confusion.
Right.
So that's your biggest problem I see with 13 trying to take on 10. And knowing you're trying to please your investors and you're in a day-to-day trenches with your contractors. This is a way to kind of keep it organized. But you can also dump all this into Trello.
Yeah. I mean, that was
kind of like Voxer too. But anyway,
yeah,
so what are you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what are you learning through this process? So like, what's the pain of managing 13? Like, are you stressed out? Are you feel inadequate? Are you lack of money? I know you're managing other people's money. Like what's going on in the heart of of a real investor that wants to buy properties, but you're over here dancing with contractors. You know, there's no deals. What's the chemistry going on in your brain?
So, I mean, I guess the biggest thing is yeah, I mean, our property management side is growing massively, and it's kind of getting a little overwhelming because, I'm used to somebody saying to me, hey, we got this issue over 123 Main Street, and I can picture in my head 123 Main Street, and I can picture the layout, and I can picture all this other stuff. And so then she'll go, hey, 123 Main Street, and I'm like, 123 Main Street, do we even manage this property? I mean, we have so many properties now that I can't keep them all in my head. And, I mean, I am pretty good at keeping track of what's going on, but nowadays it's like it's in and out in my head. If they come to me with a problem, I'm just immediately solving the problem and sending it back out, but I don't remember it the next day. Not even 5 minutes later, they'll be like, okay, so I'm back on 123 Main Street. I'm like, all right, refresh my memory. What are we doing on 123 Main Street?
Welcome to my world.
And so it's constantly, I don't know what's going on, and I have to tell people you're just going to have to refresh my memory. I mean, that makes you feel inadequate.
Have you thought about like a CRM?
Yeah, I mean, we've got several. I mean, in this day and age, that's one thing that we run into is how many systems do you have to run to be successful, right? Like I've got Buildium for property management software, right? I still have to use QuickBooks because we have to bill all of our clients. So we're doing double entry into both systems.
Hey, welcome to my world, mother. My accountant slapped me the other day. She's like, Buildium can do that, right? And I was like, listen, Buildium sucks. I mean, I love the software, but the financial standpoint is not what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing we ran into I hired a new bookkeeper, a local girl, and so she's like, well, we can do everything in Buildium. And I go, okay, I don't think we can, but let's try it. Let's run down this path. And within a month within 2 or 3 months, she was like, nope, you're right. We can't do it all in Buildium. We're going to have to continue to do it in QuickBooks and Buildium. And then she was like, well, let's try and just go QuickBooks. But then all of our people were like, I want to log into Buildium and I want to see what repairs are being done. And I want to see those invoices. So again, we're back to double entry into those systems. Our CRM software that we're using is not Buildium. So, Buildium's not designed to be a CRM software. So we've got a third-party CRM software that we're using. These are all, multiple systems on systems. And, we were considering Notify and we were considering Trello. And it's just, there's so many systems out there, but there's no one silver bullet. It's a million products. And you always end up settling.
That's the $1 million question. Like, should we write a software? No. But I was wondering why you called me on Trello.
Maybe on all your time.
No, I my dream was to do that. And then I don't know if you've been around long enough. Well, Propertyware, remember Propertyware?
Sure.
Before Propertyware was online, I had it. And I was like, and then they went online and then Buildium came in and changed the world. But all right, so you're just trying to fly the seat of your pants. You want a better CRM, which I wish I knew one. Because
I've been actually looking at REI Black Book.
I'll have some friends on there right now and they're very happy.
His Damon Remy, his system is, if I was going to design a CRM system, because you're creating, what do they call them? Tasks or, so like our process right now, if somebody calls me, they want to rent a house. Hey, I want to rent 123 Main Street. So we say, okay, we go through our list of requirements for the house. And then we say, okay, you want to go look at it? Then you need to send us your email, your full name, and date and time you want to go see the house. So in our CRM software, we're going in and inputting their full name, we're inputting their email address, their phone number, we're inputting, which house they're interested in. So then we can kind of track, okay, that was a 2-bedroom house. So we can start marketing to them via, that 2-bedroom stuff. Anyways, that whole task, so they call us, they want to go look at the house. So we've got a task that we assign, and it basically says, they want to go look at it on Saturday. Okay, so Saturday morning we get up, we give them a code for the lockbox. And then Sunday we follow up and say, hey, what'd you think of the house? And then Tuesday we follow up and say, hey, what'd you think of the house? You ready to fill out an application? And then Friday so these are all date, time, task status. Anyways, the REI Black Book is very strong and very capable of you doing stuff like booking out, that whole tasks, all what I want to say, you just assign the one task to that contact, and then it just immediately hits you up every day of the week or whatever you want it to do. It's very programmable, very reliable. I just haven't had the time to sit down and really program it real heavily. It's all about hours in the day, man. You and I know that it's just impossible to get everything done every day. But yeah, we've been looking at that. I think I'm going to switch to that. But then that brings in problems because it doesn't talk to a lot of other systems. They don't have a soft phone. So like I have virtual assistants in the Philippines who answer our phones from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. 7 days a week. My virtual assistants, they can't dial into REI Black Book and use and answer phones. So I have to have a third-party application software to where they can log into this software system and then input everything into REI Black Book. Again, it's just we have to have multiple systems on systems on systems, and hardly anything talks to itself.
Well, and then I just want to give you a solid amen for saving my staff when we were trying to scale ourselves. And just a little inside of my world, Lee Smith saved me. We were getting overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff, so we started outsourcing our phones again. And all of our Google Voice shut the F down, and it was like diarrhea all over the place. And my first thing was like, great, Google finally shut down Google Voice. Now it's time to move on to, Ring Central or CallRail. But you saved us, and I owe you a solid. Appreciate that, homie. Can't wait to buy you a cocktail.
No problem. Yeah. Stay away from Ring Central. Don't go there, man.
Yeah, my buddy loves them. I like CallRail. I've been pretty solid with it. But again, it's like, what kind of time do I have? Hey, we've already been over 30 minutes. So let's get into this. What wins have you had going on like with this process? Like, is it invigorating for you? What wins personally for you? Has it made you become a better investor? What does that look like on your wins?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every day I learn a new way to lose money, but I'm sleeping good at night. I mean, if you would have hit me up 6 months ago, I'd have been having a hard time sleeping and whatnot like that. We took over. There was a real bad property manager in Indy, and turnkey company that was just ripping people off left and right. It was a big Ponzi scheme. Anyways, we took over a bunch of properties, and I lost some pretty good money on the whole deal trying to do that. But it ended up making us rewrite our entire systems for onboarding properties, and how we do things with, like what do you do if you go into a situation where you buy a house and you have no contact information, or you inherit a house and have no contact information for the existing tenants? That was a problem that we had multiple times over. So we had to come up with solutions for all that sort of stuff. So it made us rewrite most of all of our procedures on how we deal with people, how we, process stuff. And so, I mean, I think it's not perfect, but I think it's 10 times better than it was. And that's what we're at right now on our, as far as the rehabs go. I mean, I'm doing $50,000 to $60,000 a month easy in rehabs. I'm trying to hire a guy that could basically, the sky's the limit. I mean, we're creating the systems where we could be doing $150,000, $200,000 a month in rehabs. So it's definitely, the business is there. It's just, creating those systems, but we're doing it. We're creating those systems. I've had to turn off the lead generation for looking for houses, but I mean, in this market, it's so crazy anyways. It's also made me to where a lot of times I'll just look at pictures and make an offer to a guy. You get the wholesalers on Facebook that are like, hey, I got this house, 30,000, here's 12 pictures. And I'm looking at the pictures and I go, I know you want $50,000, but I'll give you 15 cash and I'll close in a week. I just want to go look at it real quick and make sure what my assumptions are correct. I'm getting deals that way. I mean, there's a lot of people that are, hey, $30,000. And I'm like, I'll give you 10. And they're like, okay, go look at it. If you want it, you can have it. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, they're not a lot of them happening, but they are happening.
Okay. Okay. So how about, books? Are you reading any books, audiobooks? What are you reading? I know for a while there, you got me all excited about, you were like YouTube Mania, Guru, Future, podcast, TV show, green screen, wearing a cool ball cap, get all sexy on TV, growing your beard out. I saw you trim that crap.
I did.
what are you putting in your mind, your heart? What are you reading? What are you doing?
So, boy, that's an interesting question, because I was talking to our boy Ed O'Toole, and he put a book into my head. I did one of my guys quit, who was doing all my assessment videos, and I had to go back out into the field and start hitting these houses, and people are just walking away. I mean, and I'm not talking evictions. I'm talking like, hey, our lease is up. We're not going to re-rent. We're going to go rent someplace else. Okay. And then I go to go change the locks at the house, and they've left everything. They've left, pots and pans and their beds and their couches and their entertainment centers. I mean, they took their PS4 or their Xbox or whatever, but they left all this other, stuff that, it's not cheap stuff. And they just leave it. And so anyway, so Ed's got me reading a book about, oh my gosh, I don't even remember the name off the top of my head. But it's basically about generational poor, people who are, coming from poverty, and they're maintaining and staying in poverty, and the thought processes that go through their head. You and I were talking about it earlier. They don't really think about the fact that it's going to cost them a couple grand to go into the new place and buy all that stuff back again, and then the new landlord or whatever is like, why aren't you paying your rent? Everything was looking good. And they're like, well, I had to go out and buy a new bed, and I had to go out and buy a new couch, and I had to go buy, or they're going to rent a center, right? I mean, that's something we started doing. We quit giving refrigerators and stoves as loaners. I mean, we used to do loaners on those things, and if they broke, the tenants had to fix them. Nowadays, we're like, once they're broken and they're gone, then the next tenant's going to either rent from us or they're going to bring their own. And a lot of times they're renting from us. So, I'm getting $25 a month per fridge, or $25 a month for a stove. I mean, that's what they would pay at Rent-A-Center. And I'll come out and fix it if it breaks or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'll be Rent-A-Center. Right. So, but, it's just astounding to me how poorly some people live. So I've been doing a little research on that. I'm still hardcore. I really want to get back into my YouTube stuff. I mean, I've got a couple of thought processes that are just not PC. They're not, politically correct. And I wanted to do a wake-up call to a lot of America, but I just don't know how to do it PC, because I just see so much stuff that's just wrong. And it's not a black, white, green, purple thing. It's just people being not smart about life.
Right.
And so anyway, but yeah, I want to get back in my YouTube stuff. I did some classes on that. Took some stuff from some of the guys that train the YouTube. Did you know there's a certification for YouTube people? YouTube offers a certification program.
Of course they do, for a fee.
Well, yeah. Well, no, actually, I think it's free. But, you can get YouTube certified, and so I think you get some perks for being YouTube certified. But anyways, one of the guys that helped write that stuff, I took a class of his. That was really informational and really good. So I want to get back to that. But right now, our biggest thing is we're trying to get our rehab side figured out.
All right. Well, you're a rock star.
You're a bigger rock star.
I always enjoy visiting with you, and I'm going to see you in roughly 2 months.
That's right, man. November 1st, I think.
It's October 30th. The sad thing is that during the advanced deal maker session where you're getting all the knowledge and love and rubbing on your head, massage that you get from people, I will be grinding it out with the rookies, or because Avina allowed me to have an all-day class, and I'm writing that now. Of course, I'm going to drop in roof stock in there. Thanks to you. Thank you very much. Nice. And do that class. So make sure you take really good notes, and look forward to seeing you in a couple months. Hey, if you're listening to this and you want to hang out with this rock star, Lee Smith, in Ohio, where this is the last year I heard at Great Wolf Lodge, starts October 30th. Google up Ohio REIA.
OREAconvention.com.
OREAconvention.com. And I think Savvy has some sort of a discount. I don't know. But just demand for Savvy, and like they'll give you a discount. Just say I said so. And anyway, and I know we're not rooming anymore together, because like you kind of fell off the wagon and you rub with somebody else now because you like to spoon somebody. Who's it you're spooning?
Eddie Mac. It's always going to be Eddie Mac.
Yeah, I knew it. Told me out. Anyway, man, I love you,
can't
bro.
trick my wife into coming to these conventions, so I got to spoon with somebody.
I know. One day I'll meet her. I know your boys are awesome.
Yep.
All right, stud. Thanks for your time. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
What is the Savvy Boot Camp? Are you struggling to get to the next level as a business owner, as an investor? Do you want to multiply your income? Sign up for the Savvy Boot Camp, a strategic and supercharged one-night and one-day event designed to shortcut your learning process and propel you forward. Just value, no upsells, and an intimate setting to build relationships with like-minded investors. We will be covering how personality profiling can make you a millionaire, outsourcing and the nitty-gritty of maximizing your property management, scaling your business through systems and automation, technology hacks you should be using every day, and how to raise private money. Go to www.savvybootcamp.com now to register or to find out more.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter @LandlordBook and always be buying assets.